Hare Krishna, this morning we're reading from Sri Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 16, entitled King Chitraketu Meets the Lord. Text 15 to 19. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This is text 19 on the board. Namo Vijnana Matraya. Namo Vijnana Matraya. Paramanandamurte. Paramanandamurte. Atmaramaya Shantaya. Atmaramaya Shantaya. Nivrita Dvaita Drishtaye. Nivrita Dvaita Drishtaye. Namo Vijnanam Matraya. Paramanandamurte. Atmaramaya Shantaya. Nivrita Dvaita Drishtaye. Namo Vijnana Matraya. Paramanandamurte. Atmaramaya Shantaya. Nivrita Dvaita Drishtaye. Masi? There's two shlokas in one here, 18, 19 are together. Om Namastubhyam Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhimahi Pradyumna Nirodhaya Nama Shankashanaya Cha. Om, O my Lord, Namaha, obeisances, Tubhyam, unto you, Bhagavate, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vasudevaya, Krishna, the son of Vasudeva. Dhimahi, let me meditate upon. Pradyumnaya, unto Pradyumna. Anirudhaya, unto Anirudha. Namaha, respectful obeisances. Shankarshanaya, unto Lord Shankarshan. Cha, also Namaha, all obeisances. Vijnana Matraya, unto the form of full knowledge. Paramananda Murte, full of transcendental bliss. Atmaramaye, unto the Lord who is self-sufficient. Shantaya, and free from disturbances. Nivrittadvaita drishtaye, whose vision turns away from duality, or who is one without a second. Translation: Narada gave Chitraketu the following mantra. O Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, who addressed by the Omkara, Pranava, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. O Lord Vasudeva, I meditate upon you. O Lord Pradyumna, Lord Anirudha, and Lord Shankarshan, I offer you my respectful obeisances. O reservoir of spiritual potency, O supreme bliss, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, who are self-sufficient and most peaceful. O ultimate truth, one without a second, you are realized as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan, and are therefore the reservoir of all knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that he is the Pranava Sarva Vedeshu, the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras. In transcendental knowledge, the Lord is addressed as Pranava, Omkara, which is a symbolic representation of the Lord in sound. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vasudeva, who is an expansion of Narayan, expands himself as Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Shankarshan. From Shankarshan comes a second Narayan expansion. From this Narayan comes a further expansion of Vasudeva, Pradyumna, Shankarshan, and Aniruddha. The Shankarshan in this group is the original cause of the three Purushas, namely Karanadayoksai Vishnu, Garbhodayoksai Vishnu, and Kshirodayoksai Vishnu. Kshirodayoksai Vishnu is situated in every universe in a special planet called Svetadvip. This is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita, Andantarasta. The word Anda means universe. Within this universe is a planet called Svetadvip, where Kshirodayoksai Vishnu is situated. From him come all the incarnations within this universe. As confirmed in the Brahma Samhita, all these forms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are Advaita, non-different, and they are also Achyuta, infallible. They do not fall down like the conditioned souls. The ordinary living entity is prone to falling into the clutches of Maya, but the Supreme Lord, in his different incarnations and forms, is Achyuta, infallible. Therefore, his body is different from the material body possessed by the conditioned soul. The word matra is explained in the Medini dictionary as follows. Matrakarna vibhushayam vitimani prachihate. The word matra in its different imports is used to indicate the decoration of the ear, possession, respect and the possession or covering. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita 2.14, Mattaspasastu konteya shishnosna sukadukada agamapayino nityas tam satikshava bharata. O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, O scion of Bharat, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. In the conditioned state of life, the body is used as our dress. As one needs different dresses during summer and winter, we conditioned souls are changing bodies according to our desires. However, because the body of the Supreme Lord is full of knowledge, it needs no covering. The idea that Krishna's body is like ours, in other words, that his body and soul are different, is a misunderstanding. There are no such differences for Krishna, because his body is full of knowledge. Here we receive material bodies because of a lack of knowledge. But because Krishna, Vasudeva, is full of knowledge, there is no difference between his body and his soul. Krishna remembers what he said 40 million years ago to the sun god. But an ordinary being cannot remember what he said the day before yesterday. This is the difference between Krishna's body and our body. Therefore the Lord is addressed as Vijnana Matraya Paramananda Murtehe. Because the Lord's body is full of knowledge, he always enjoys transcendental bliss. Indeed, his very form is Paramananda. This is confirmed in the Vedanta Sutra, Anandamayo Bhyashat. By nature, the Lord is Anandamaya. Whenever we see Krishna, he is always full of Ananda. In all circumstances, no one can make him morose. Atmaramaya. He does not need to search for external enjoyment because he is self-sufficient. Shantaya. He has no anxiety. One who has to seek pleasure from other sources is always full of anxiety. Karmis, Jnanis and Yogis are full of anxiety because they want something. But a devotee does not want anything. He is simply satisfied in the service of the Lord, who is fully blissful. Nivritta Dvaita Tristhaye. In our conditioned life, our bodies have different parts. But although Krishna apparently has different bodily parts, no part of his body is different from any other part. Krishna can see with his eyes, and Krishna can see without his eyes. Therefore, in the Shvetashvara Upanishad, it is said, Pashyati Achushaha. Pashyati Achukshuhu. He can see with his hands and legs. He does not need a particular body part to perform a particular action. Angani yasya sakalendriya vritti. He can do anything he desires with any part of his body, and therefore he is called Almighty. End of purport. Omagyanam tinhandasya gyanam salakaya chakshulamitam tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Simati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminitya Namane. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nevishesha Shannavari Pasyarizatani. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Garadha Shivas Adi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I read the translations from 15. Text 15, thus enlightened by the instructions of the Brahmanas, Angira and Narada, King Chitraketu became fully aware of spiritual knowledge. as an elephant becomes free from a muddy reservoir of water, King Chitraketu come out of the dark well of family life. 16. The king bathed in the water of the Jamuna, and according to prescribed duties, he offered obeisance of water to the forefathers and demigods, very gravely controlling his senses and mind. He then offered his respects and obeisances to the sons of Lord Brahma, Angira and Narada. 17. Thereafter, being very much pleased with Chitraketu, who was a self-controlled devotee and surrendered soul, Narada, the most powerful sage, spoke to him the following transcendental instructions. Narada gave Chitraketu the following mantra: O Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, who are addressed by the Omkara, I offer my respectful obeisance unto you. O Lord Vasudeva, I meditate upon you. O Lord Pradyumna, Lord Aniruddha, and Lord Shankarshan, I offer you my respectful obeisances. O reservoir of spiritual potency, O supreme bliss, I offer my respectful obeisance unto you, who are self-sufficient and most peaceful. O ultimate truth, one without a second, you are realized as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan, and therefore the reservoir of all knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Unlike some purports where Srila Prabhupada has a trail, a beginning and a middle and an end, this one he's more or less given different meanings, explanations of the word meanings here. But what is pointed out is especially the difference between the living entity and the supreme entity, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here the King Chitraketu has just come out of illusion by the mercy of the sages there. And so when one is free from illusion or liberated, then what is next? When you're out of the illusion, you're out of the elephant comes out of gets stuck in the muddy water, he gets out. Now, what to do when one is liberated? So now Narada will instruct. Of course, he's already a devotee, great devotee of Chitraketu. But now Narada will instruct him. So he's given him mantra. Now he's purified, cleansed of his attachments and misgivings. Now he's not in Maya. Then this is the first instruction Narada is given, which are prayers to the Lord, Kirtanam, glorifying the Lord in his different aspects of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So beginning from the edge of the universe, he's beginning there. He's offering his obeisances to that person who is addressed by the impersonalists and others as the Omkar, Pranava, Om, syllable Om. That's the sound representation. But he's addressing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but saying this is the same thing. Those who worship the impersonal aspect of the Lord, they realize him by that sound representation of Om. Whereas we worship the personality of Godhead, then we use names like Krishna, Govinda, Madhav, which are names which indicate qualities and attributes and form and pastimes of the Lord. So he's given it a name for that. That's the difference. He's going through the first expansions from Balaram, Vasudeva, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Shankarshan, etc. And then down to the Vishnus, who are doing something in the universe. But it's pointed out that they're all, these forms of the Lord are all infallible. They're all the same. It's Krishna. Krishna steps to one side, and Krishna's still there. So that one, the one who steps to one side, that's Balaram. It's a different, slightly different color. It's exactly the same potency is there. It assumes a different form and a different personality. That's magic. He can do that. He's God. And then Balaram expands as the Vasudev, Shankarshan, Paduna, like this 9. He expands one, then the next one expands, then the next one expands. But they're all coming from the same original source, and they all have the same potency as the original supreme source, Krishna. But they don't display all of that potency or all of those qualities that Krishna may display. All of the qualities are apparent in Krishna. That's why Krishna is called the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because his personality is much more in his personality than the other incarnations, because he displays much more. And the fact is, he is the original cause of all causes. That's Krishna. So the differences are that they're all powerful. They don't fall down. They don't change their bodies. They're not forced to come to the material world. They create the material world. It's their idea. We have no choice of, once we're here, we have no choice of what body form we take. And we're covered in a form of ignorance. Right? Earth, water, fire, air, ether. These are all produced from ignorance and begin darkness. Tamasa, mixed with ignorance. So we're covered with ignorance, whereas the Lord is covered by he covers himself with his own spiritual potency, his chit potency and ananda potency. So his chit potency, that is his knowledge aspect, his body is covered with knowledge, pure knowledge. We're covered with almost pure ignorance. There's a little light there. And then we become illusioned into thinking, identifying with these bodies, and therefore because it's a material affair, there are laws here that for any action there'll be some kind of reaction. So then we're bound like that. We're trying to make amends in the material world, trying to solve the puzzle of life that we don't want to experience problems, but they're forced upon us. And by trying to resolve the puzzle, by dealing with this ignorance, that's all we are dealing with, right? Mind, intelligence, the ahankara, and then the very base elements. But they're all based on, they're all bewildered because we're covered. We have those coverings of the illusion. Our senses are imperfect. We're subject to commit mistakes, as we well know. Right? We're living with these imperfect senses. But with these imperfect senses, we look in an imperfect situation, the material world, for a perfect situation. This is called Maya. There is no solution to our problems in the material world. There's no material solution. The material world is a problem from the very beginning and from top to bottom, from the edge of the created universe, from the very edge, Brahmaloka, down to the Patala Loka. Krishna says they're all distressful because no one's experiencing the true nature. No one's experiencing that true happiness. Of course, they're very close in Brahmaloka, but still they're not actually they're not experiencing Satchit Ananda consistently, and they're not dealing with Satchit Ananda consistently. They're in the material world. So they're dealing with the material energy, albeit very fine material energy, sattva, and everything is sattvic in the it's called sattaloka. The higher you get, the finer the energy becomes. But still, it's overall, the Brahmanda is dark. The whole universe is in ignorance. That's why we need a sunlight to make it bright. So this is what you're dealing with ignorance. We're identifying ourselves as this body, which is also ignorant matter, dead matter, right? The body is dead matter. And we're projecting our consciousness on other dead matter and trying to find a satisfactory situation where we can be peaceful and happy. That is called Maya. It's not here. It's not here. Although there's a little relief now and again. There is a little so-called happiness. There is a little relief, but you can't keep it. Right? When we feel really great, satisfied, then how long does it last? You're you're really enjoying having a good time. How long does it last? Not long, you see. So it's a resemblance of the real thing there, but it's not enduring, because this place is asat, temporary. But we want sat. We want to experience that forever. That's what we're actually looking for. So this is by our practical daily experiences and our desires and aspirations, you can actually it is a way to verify the existence of the Lord personally and our spiritual existence, because everyone's looking for those same two things. Everyone's looking for a peaceful situation. Everyone is looking to remove the problems. Right? Everyone. Every moving living being. They're moving away from problems. Try to overcome problems. This is the main thing in life. This is the main time taker in life. This is what we spend our most time on. Right? Eating, fearing, and sleeping. That's most of your life. It goes on that. Because the modes of nature are very oppressive. They're a real problem, right? Modes of nature are a real problem in fulfilling our desires. Space is a real problem in fulfilling our desires. Time is a real problem in fulfilling our desires, right? We want something, we want it now, but it's not like that. We have to work. It's hard to get through this space and time. It takes a lot of energy, and there's so many things in that space and time: old age, disease, death, lamentation, fear. So many different things that you have to pass through to achieve your desire. So it's troublesome, kunta. So many obstacles are there. Because everyone is looking for that same goal, and when they achieve that freedom, then it's happiness. Then you want to be happy, right? You're thinking about pleasure. You're only addressing the problems because you can't be peaceful. You can't be peaceful and plan your enjoyment. When you're hungry, you have to eat. You don't think about other sense gratification when you're starving. First, you take care of that. Then you can think about enjoying the senses. So some things are really pressing. So first you deal with the problem. As Krishna says, if there's no peace in the Bhagavad Gita, how can there be happiness? So that peace, that's sat. So that's what people are looking for. Every living entity is looking for that peace. So the logic would be that that's a reality. That peace is a reality, and it has an existence. Otherwise, why every single living entity is looking for that. Right? Every living entity wants peace, wants a peaceful situation. Where is it coming? Where is that desire coming from? Because it's actually real. We are peaceful. We are sat. That's the nature of the soul. But we've forgotten that. Krishna's taken away that remembrance. Right? He's covered us with his own ignorance, his own Maya. He's covered us with that potency, forgetfulness. Because if we remember Krishna, then we can't be Krishna. We can't take his position if we understand who Krishna is. Then if we remember Krishna, then we can't be the controller and we can't be the enjoyer, which is what we want. So then Krishna has to take away our real identity as servant of Krishna, so that we can try to execute this desire we have to be like Krishna, to be like God. And then, so after the problems are solved, then it's happiness. Everyone wants to be happy, which is an indication that we're not happy, we're not satisfied, we're not shanta, not peaceful, because we've forgotten the sat. We're not peaceful, we're not satisfied, and we're not happy because we're looking for happiness. Everyone acts for happiness, right? Whatever we do is for our happiness or our improvement. Everything we do to improve our situation, and so we can be happy. So why is everyone looking for happiness? It's an indication that that happiness is an integral part of our being, because everyone's looking for it, everyone desires it. And I would like to get it and not lose it. That's an indication we're eternal. That is our actual constitution. We're eternally happy, because that's what we would like. So there's an indication is there in our daily activities that this is what we would, this is a situation that we would prefer. But it's not available in the material world. We never found that situation. So then we get enlightenment from outside the universe, outside the darkness, is coming in, aparaya, this knowledge, the saints, Narada's coming in from outside, Krishna's coming in from outside. We're coming from outside also, but we're covered, we're forgetful, and we're trying to adjust this darkness for a nice situation. So we need help from outside, so they come in. So here, Angira and Narada, they've enlightened, they've cleared the illusion of Chittaketu through this graphic example. Angira gave him his source of happiness, his son. This will make me happy. If I adjust this material energy, if I have a child, then everything will be fine. Because, I should have a child. Because I'm the king and it's scripture and everything will be fine if I have a child. So by Angira's mercy, I have a child. Then, by some other arrangement, possibly Angira or Narada Muni's also, then that is taken away. Because he needs to be. It means King Chittaketu, he's a character in the Bhagavatam. he's a special recipient of mercy. So he's getting the mercy like this to teach us, and then that object of happiness is taken away, and now he's plunged into distress. So he's had practical experience of great happiness, the greatest happiness, and then the greatest distress is taken away from him. So this time, then the person becomes a little open in these conditions. At the time of great distress, it means there's great emotional suffering. You've lost someone very dear to you, very close to you. At that time, the world is not very attractive. Right? I just want to curl up and die. Right? It's just. How was it? One example. I can't remember the example. One person took sannyas, and his wife was really upset. And she went to Srila Prabhupada and said, "Srila Prabhupada, I hate everyone and everything." I can't remember. And Prabhupada said, "Very good. Now you've understood what the material world is like. Now you'll get this is a good time for your advancement in Krishna consciousness." because now we're trying to love everything and everyone, right? But we're not satisfied like that. So that's the difference between us and the Lord Himself. He doesn't get covered. He doesn't have this illusion, because his body and himself are the same. There's no difference between his body and his soul. Even if Krishna is attached to his body, it's fine. It's perfection. Because his body is reality. His body is Sat. His body is Ananda. It's made of that. That's what he's made of. And the whole spiritual world is like that. When we're attached to our body and another body, it's a cause of distress. It's a cause of perpetuating the birth and death. But in the spiritual world, even if you're attached to your body, that's also perfection. Attachment must be there. You can't be without attachment. Attachment means life. Means desire. Without desire, there's no life. So attachment's got to be there. It's just what we're attached to. And the Jnanis, the transcendentalists, they become attached to the Brahman, which is Sat. They become attached to the self-realization. They become attached to the soul, and that's fantastic because it is Sat. So that's real. So when they experience that Brahmananda, they experience themselves, they become self-realized, they're not interested in the material world. They're not interested in adjusting in the material world. They're not trying to improve their situation in the material world because they've got it. They got something very wonderful. They're not looking for happiness through sense gratification because they got happiness, Atmarama. They become self-satisfied. Therefore, they can be indifferent to the material world. That's why liberation is so great, because it gives what everyone's looking for: relief and happiness. But that, even though that's wonderful, even that's not so wonderful as the happiness, the experience of existence and happiness in the spiritual world for the devotees. Because there, in the spiritual world, everything is Satchitananda. Everything is fully conscious. Here, the object, the senses and the sense objects, they're not actually, it's a contact and the mental adjustment that we think we're enjoying and suffering. So it's the actual contact which produces the effect of enjoying. In the spiritual world, that is not the objects and the senses are not necessarily the only medium to experience that happiness. The object is happiness itself. The senses are happiness themselves, because everything is Satchitananda. So you don't have to. In other words, the difference there and here is that you don't actually need that medium to experience happiness in the spiritual world. The medium is there just because you've got to do something for the sake of the pastimes. So that medium is there. That's the knowledge or the Sambit, Santini potency. The potency of like he expands that Sambit potency expands as a place, the land, the buildings, the trees, the people, the animals. Santini, excuse me. So that's Sandhini potency. That's the ambience there. It's also contained, so then that's the area, the ambience where you can experience the pastimes go on within that area. So then you experience different types of, you can experience the Ananda, you can experience the Chit, Sandhini, Haladini, you can experience all of those as the pastime goes, or as it manifests. Just like here it says the three modes of nature that are representative, Raja, Tama and Sattva. We heard just said there's a constant flux, there's a constant struggle for one mode over another. But the spiritual parallel, it's a similar thing is going on there, but they're not based on ignorance, they're based on eternity. They are personified eternity, knowledge, and bliss. So so just how much pleasure, the pleasure is there in everything. Everything is pleasure. Everything has that quality of Ananda. Everything has that quality of knowledge and cognizance. And it's eternal. It's always fresh. Everything is great there, always. So that's the difference. We're dealing with dull matter, which is overall, it's deteriorating. It's gradually disappearing. All the matter. It gradually gets less and less and less. Right? This was a nice shiny mic at one time, but it's not the same anymore. It's gradually deteriorating. That's the nature of this place. But we're saying even that happiness of the Brahman, the self-realized, is nothing compared with the happiness in the spiritual world, because you're only experiencing Sat in the Brahman, or self-realization. You're just experiencing the Sat aspect. You don't experience the Sandhini or the Haladini. That Sat is predominant, so it's covering those two aspects. We have we're made of the three aspects, but that aspect of Sat is what we wanted. That's what we worked for. We wanted to peace only. We didn't want any variety or anything like that. So that's what you wanted. There's an option there. You can have that. So that's not real happiness. To sit in a dark room wouldn't be very, or even in a light room with nothing there, wouldn't be very attractive for us. In the prison, when someone's a really intense program in the prison, they put you in solitary confinement. They put you in a room and lock you up, and they don't give you any facility or any association. So that's even worse than, having to go work in the fields or break rocks, whatever they do. That solitary confinement, you're alone, there's no one, nothing to relate with. That's horrible. It's more torturous. So the devotees see that happiness of the jnanis, yogis, like that. Horrible. Horrible. That kind of happiness is horrible. Because you're not there. You could be there with in the spiritual world, so much variety. Everything is Satchidananda. Everything is fantastic. And here and Krishna is there. He's the darling of Gokulananda. He's wandering there, and he's loving everyone. There's everyone's looking for someone to love them. The Krishna is that person. He really loves you. So you're feeling great with Krishna. And everyone loves Krishna equally. And in that ambience, then it's fantastic. There's so many ways you can experience Krishna's Supreme Personality. His beauty, his charm, the sound of his voices, his dealings with you, his sidelong glances, his emotions, the way he plays with you, all these things you're experiencing. So who could leave that and go and sit in a room and do nothing? Just be peaceful. Who'd want to leave that full spectrum of enjoyment for a little bit of peace? So therefore the devotees, pure devotees, of realization, then they say it's horrible. The happiness of Brahmananda is horrible. It's a distraction. And even the even the desire, even the realization of the self is not conducive to devotional service, because for devotional service there should be an intense, for love of Krishna, there should be an intense hankering for that, an intense desire that you've been trying and trying and trying, and you've got a taste. This is higher up. This is above this, after Nishta. You've been trying and trying for so long through this and other Nivritti period. Finally you got to the Nishta, you're not so interested in the material stuff anymore, but still you haven't got Krishna. But you have a little, you're getting some taste, but still you want more and more of that. So this is necessary. This eagerness to get Krishna. But that Atmarama situation, that dampens that down, because there's self-satisfaction there, there's complacency there, so it's not even conducive for love of Krishna. So it's Krishna. So here, this is the first instruction, is Krishna. First you glorify Krishna. By glorifying Krishna, that's what we're supposed to be doing. But here you're glorifying his majestic aspects, because first we have to realize God is great before we can love him. Now we think we're great, but first you have to realize, no, God is great, I am very small. So then you're worshipping his majestic aspects also as the creator, maintainer, and all those things to reduce the false ego. But it's Krishna we should worship, and we're offering prayers. That by worshipping Krishna through prayer or anything, the 9 processes of devotional service, then you're in contact with Krishna. You're in contact with Satchit Ananda. And then we're dependent on his mercy. So there has to be some proximity. There has to be some channel for his mercy. So you want to get in the channel where you can receive his mercy. So that is, you're directly contacting Krishna by glorifying him, because you're remembering him, and you're acting properly as a servant. You're adjusting when you're worshipping him, that means you're also identifying yourself as a servant. So not the master anymore, I'm the servant. So so those 2 aspects, among others, are there, that you're in the right position and the right mentality. You're actually associating with Krishna. But because we don't have the adhikar, we can't experience his Satchit Ananda in that name, although that name is not different from Krishna. We can't experience it, that's our problem. But we're coming to it, we're approaching it, and we're verbally chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Radha, please engage me in the service of Krishna. We have no idea where that's going. And we have no real feeling, because we don't feel Radha, we don't feel Krishna, but they're there in that, because that's the address, that's who we are addressing. So now you're in a very good position. It's just a question of sincerity. So you're in the best position that when they decide to give that mercy, then you're right there to get it. So here's come out of the illusion. So and being in contact with Krishna, that will prevent any further illusion, if you can stay in contact with Krishna. So therefore we have our 9 processes of devotional service. We should try to keep, whole day we should be trying to engage in one or other of these 9 devotional. That will insulate us from Maya. That will keep us directly in contact with Krishna through that particular service, because those activities are not different from Krishna. We can't appreciate that at the moment. Intellectually or philosophically we may appreciate it, but we don't feel it. But still we're there, we're connected with Krishna directly, but we don't experience it, we're not having a direct experience. But that by that association, that will purify us, that will qualify us for receiving the experience to actually perceive it in reality. So that's our work in our neophyte stage. Just always stay into contact with Krishna through his energies and his service like that, his names. That's our program. That's the program of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. So we keep ourselves secure, insulated, and ready to receive the mercy when it comes, because we're expecting it, because this is our prayers. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Sri Prabhupada ki jai. I go Premanandi. We're 10 minutes over. If anyone has any questions, I don't mind staying. Otherwise we can't eat prashadam. Mike, is it? Back.
Hare Krishna. When we read this pastime of Chitraketu's son, then the son is telling the father that he's going to his next destination, and he's in a...
I'm not hearing, sorry.
In this pastime
Okay.
of Chitraketu's son, the son is telling the father that, let me go to my next destination, and he's well aware that he's leaving that situation. So it makes me consider that we're supposed to find our eternal constitutional position. So I wonder about that. When Krishna first created us, he chose our eternal constitutional position, and from that point we have free will. Like he chose whether we're a swan or a boy or a girl or a kalpavriksha tree. So from that point that he chose for us, then we have free will?
You'll never know. You'll never know the answer to that. Prabhupada said, we can't remember the day before yesterday. Krishna can remember billions of years. You'll never know. Doesn't matter. So now we can choose what you'd like to be and pray for that. How will you know? How can you know? Unless it's revealed to you.
But then the Lord is always stressing that we have free will.
Yeah. So choose what relationship you want with Krishna. That's your free will.
Thank you.
Good luck. Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.